Hey, this is Brian Sikansky from the Email Profit, and today I want to talk about email automation, how you can set up a series of emails to get your prospects to know, like, and trust you, to get a better feel for what your business is all about, and more importantly, push them to the most relevant offer so they can become a customer. So let's take a look inside what automation might look like. So what I'm showing you here is kind of an automation that I set up for dental marketing series of emails. So the way that somebody could opt in for your email list is everything from just a form on your website where they punch in their email address and they hit submit, or more frequently, it's something that we call a lead magnet, where you're putting some kind of useful guide on your website, so they don't even have to scroll, putting it right front and center on your website to capture those people that are visiting your website and making sure that you can continue that conversation with them via email. So once they opt in for that guide, and I'll talk a little bit about lead magnets in coming weeks about how to title them, what to include in them, and how to get to the point where they're taking the next step. But right now, we're assuming that they opted in for your lead magnet or filled in one of your forms on your website, and they've opted into your email address. So kind of the first step here, and this is a very basic automation in terms of what we're seeing here. So you can see kind of the different flow off the side here, but for the most part, we're sending them emails almost every day. So really the idea is that once they opt in for your lead magnet or click on your form and hit submit, that's kind of the height of their motivation. So we want to make sure that we're staying in front of them every single day. We want to create the habit of where they're seeing your name, getting to the point where they're opening your email, clicking on that link, and ultimately replying to your email. That's going to help with email deliverability and to start some of that conversation that's going on between you and your customer. So the more conversations that you're having, the more likely they are to follow up and make that purchase or to hire you if you're a service. So really ours starts as soon as they opt in or click on that page, starts with that welcome email. And really a good welcome email will just further clarify what they opted in for. So if it's a guide, sending them a link that they can actually go to that guide for, but also kind of developing curiosity, like what else are you going to be sending them over the next few days, not giving away everything about it, but just offering a little title about what education is coming, what value are you going to provide, so they can look forward in the coming days to opening your emails and get into that habit. So after that, within this automation, I send an email if they don't, and really the condition here is if they don't reply to that email, I'm going to send them an additional email 6 hours later. And really the idea behind that is to just remind them to say, I sent you an email before, just wanted to remind you to reply to my email. Again, replying to your email sets that habit of them reaching out to you. It also signals to the email providers that your email is not spam. So if they're replying to an email, it kind of signals to Gmail or whatever provider they have that this email is something that they want and that they're engaging with. So then you can go on to, and within this email, the third email that we have here is telling them a little bit more about who you are as a business. So give them the story behind your company, a little bit more about you as the business owner as well. So what makes you, unique and kind of sets you apart. It's really about kind of raising your company above all your peers, so you're not as much of a commodity. And talking about, a little bit more about what your business provides and kind of the results that you could provide for your customers. And next, in terms of that next email, this is where you can provide some level of testimonial. So if you have a good bunch of raving fans of your business, tell a story about one of those customers. Give them an idea of people similar to them that have seen results and what was kind of their journey along with that. So first you're telling your story and then sharing some of the success stories about one of your customers. And then further on as you go along, that's providing some education and value for them. Could be related to one of your products or services, could be related to some of the false beliefs that your customers have, and you're kind of filling in that gap for the knowledge that they might have. And ultimately you're pushing towards that one relevant offer that you have within your lineup. And that's really the one offer that you think is kind of the next step in the process. And that ultimately gets you down to kind of an FAQ type email where you're kind of answering kind of those common questions that you get, kind of anticipating some of those objections or questions that they might have have answered before they go ahead and either purchase your product or hire you as a service. So again, we're kind of anticipating some of those. And at the end of that email, you're also asking if there's any other questions that they might have. Feel free to reply. So in each of your emails, you want to obviously have a very compelling headline to get them to open up the email, but also some type of link to, again, it could be a link to a blog post or something within your website to make sure that they're continuing to have some type of engagement with your business. And then again, asking them some type of question or getting them to respond in some way to your email. So those three things: opening up your email, clicking a link, and answering and replying to your email is what we want to do in every single email that you have as much as possible. Again, getting in that habit of doing that. And then further along, you want to be a little bit more specific. So if you have a certain service or product that has unique characteristics that might be a little bit unique to that customer, you want to be more specific in terms of what those specific objections might be. So answering that in an email could be very important. In terms of the overall sequence, they tend to be in the realm of 6 to 8 emails, just to kind of go through, again, providing some education and value along the way. You can see in this email sequence, I added a couple extra emails. And what you can do in terms of your automation is if you have a very good email that you've used before, it's had very good engagement, you've had a lot of replies, it's been very well received and led to further conversions for people actually buying your product or service, you can add it to the end of this automation and kind of continue that. So at the end of the day, you can have a full automation that might go 30 to 45 days if you have a level of content and engaging emails that you've created over time. You can kind of just add that to the automation so that you can kind of, again, get in the process of being in front of your customer. They get to know you a little bit better and get into the habit of engaging back and forth with you. So that's kind of the overview of the attribution. I'll go into a little bit more detail in coming weeks about things like lead magnets, some of the components of email automation that really works well. But for this time, I just wanted to give you a sense of what automation look like and how it can help you, build that relationship with your prospects.